Touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
This is back out for a 3. Left wing is good.
Deep to right field at the warning track. See ya.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
At the buzzer.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now. It's really fun to be a part of.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Huge win for Oregon.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Hello, everybody. We've got a lot to get to over the course of the show today. Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com, is going to join us in just a little while. We've also got some wrap-up of last night's baseball game. God, I'll tell you, another close one between the Ducks and the Beavs. A 2-run win for Oregon State 8 days ago and a 2-run win for Oregon State last night. We're going to talk about that. We've got new Oregon track and field posters, by the way. They're in the studio now, and, you know, it's perfect timing because Robert Johnson will be here, ladies and gentlemen, head coach, Oregon Track and Field, ahead of the Summer of Hayward. That is on the horizon today as well. We're also going to talk a little bit of men's golf and hear from some more student athletes around baseball and women's tennis. That's all coming up today. Good luck tonight. Oregon women's lacrosse. The Ducks 4:30 against Colorado in the Pac-12 tournament. Hannah Hillcoff and Morgan McCarthy both named all Pac-12 second teamers today. Congratulations to Hannah Hillcoff and Morgan McCarthy. But Oregon lacrosse against Colorado. They lost by 2 to Colorado earlier this year. Feels like they could get them in the Pac-12 tournament. They've been playing better and better. We talked with Chelsea Hoffman earlier this week, the Oregon lacrosse head coach. Well, last night for the Ducks against Oregon State, a 2-0 win for the Beavs in a top 25 battle. These two squads will meet up again in Corvallis coming up on Friday, 7 o'clock first pitch set from, I almost just said Gill, but it's from Goss. When you're around Oregon State, it just starts with a G. That's what I've learned, and I always half mess it up every single time. But, man, what an incredible pitching performance by the Ducks. Dylan Sabia was solid to start. Caleb Sloan went 3 near-perfect innings on the hill last night. He struck out 5, allowed just 1 hit and 1 walk. Andrew Mosiello was perfect through 2 innings and struck out 3. Christian Schifatelli was really good again. A leadoff walk and a home run. That was the difference in the game. Good baseball game that did not go Oregon's way, a 2-0 loss. First shutout, actually, of the year, and the first shutout in the Mark Wasikowski era, if you can believe that. That tells you how good the pitching was for Oregon State last night. The Ducks are now at number 22 in the RPI, heading in to that big-time series with Oregon State and Corvallis. Beavs are number 2 in the RPI. This is a top 25 matchup coming up here in Corvallis. Let's hear a little bit from Mark Wasikowski. He talked to the media post-game, his thoughts on the game that was, and looking ahead to the weekend series. Mark Wasikowski meeting with the media yesterday.
Another hard-fought 2-run loss to Oregon State. Just what did you see out of the team this time around, a week later?
That was a hell of a college baseball game. You know, if you like college baseball and you like rivalries, that was it. You know, and somebody had to lose, and I'm pissed that we lost. And I'm proud of the way we pitched. Thought we pitched with a lot of confidence, with a lot of tenacity. Proud of the way the guys played. You know, we just got beat tonight.
Caleb in particular seems like he was really effective for those 3 innings. What did you see him doing particularly well?
Well, I mean, Caleb was really effective. You know, when you go 5 strikeouts in 3 innings, and you know, I think what did Oregon State get, like 3 hits or something like that tonight? I mean, it. Yeah. So, yeah, I was really proud of the way they pitched. Disappointed that we lost when the opposing team got 3 hits, and the 3 hits they got yielded 2 runs. That's all that counts.
You guys had a lot of lineup changes today. Just what went into the process of making the lineup, and you know, what did you see from guys in the new spots?
We didn't really have many lineup changes. We just put 1 new guy in the lineup, you know, and he injected energy into our program. He's the hardest worker we got, and he got a chance to play today, and he had, I think it was 2 or 3 competitive, really good at-bats on the evening. Really happy with how Tyler Gannis played, but we only had 1 new guy in the lineup today. It wasn't a bunch of new guys in the lineup.
Can you talk about that 7th inning with the bases loaded and just 1 out, and how important it is to capitalize on those sort of opportunities if you're going to beat a team like Oregon State?
Yeah, anytime you're trying to beat any team, you got to capitalize on that. It doesn't matter who the team is. You know, when you get bases loaded and you got 1 out, it's time to score. You know, and when you don't, you usually lose that game. That's what happened today.
Tonight was the first time since you took over as head coach that you guys were shut out. I guess, What do you kind of make of that? I mean, obviously, on one hand, it's impressive that it took this long, but also you never want to get shut out. So.
I mean, I don't have any. I mean, if we haven't been shut out in the time that I've been here, then that means we've scored every time we've played, which is the objective. So.
Going back to that 7th inning, your decision to let Gannis hit and not bring in someone like Jacob Wallace, just what went through your head there?
If we were going to bring in anybody, it would have probably been Jacob Walsh for Gavin at that point, because Gavin had 2 competitive at-bats but bad results, and talked about it. But for other reasons, I stuck with Gavin in that situation for other reasons.
Was it just a day for Jacob?
What's that?
Was it just a day for Jacob? Was he just dinged up and just needed a day to sit, or?
No, we put Tyler Gannis in the lineup because he's been hitting better than Jacob. So, you know, when you do better than somebody else, then they play, and that's the way it is. You know, we don't promise anybody playing time around here. It needs to be earned. Jacob's a hell of a hitter, and he'll be back in the lineup, I'm sure, in due time. And you know, he just hasn't been going as good as Tyler Gannis has, and we're trying to play the best lineup we can to win a game.
This is Gannis' first career start. Just what do you see out of him in right field and at the plate today?
Made all the plays and was really competitive. I think he had 4 at-bats and was really competitive in those at-bats. So, you know, proud of Tyler. He's a heck of a worker. I think he hit a screamer. Great play by Boyd in right field. You know, had another, you know, deep fly ball to the wall in left field. Grinded another at-bat out where, you know, he could have potentially won a game. I thought he played well, you know, very well.
Your bullpen today, obviously a really good outing, only allowing 3 hits all game long. Just what did you see from them? What did you see from Andrew Moseley? I know Mercado surrendered a run, but still pitched well. Just overall thoughts on the bullpen today.
When you make a mistake, you usually get hurt. You know, there were some big pitches made. Rio Britton made some big pitches. Moseley was electric. Caleb Sloan was electric. I thought the start with Dylan Sabia was really good. I just thought overall we pitched with the right mentality. I thought Oregon State pitched with the right mentality. It was a heck of a college baseball game. You know, when there were really only 2, a sac fly and a guy hit a home run on a pitch that was, you know, just right down the middle, which is what you should do. And that's a good player out there in right field, the Boyd kid. We've seen that now 2 days in a row. So, you know, they got a sac fly and a home run for their runs. We lined out several times. And it didn't work out for us today, and we're looking forward to Friday to get back on the field and get a chance to go up to their stadium. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, with 3 up at their place, I know you guys take it day by day, game by game, but does it feel like it's, I don't know, more emphasis getting toward the end of the season?
No. It's just an in-state rival, and you want to beat your in-state rival, and so our guys are looking forward to getting on the bus. If we could go right now and play them tonight, I'd love to.
And sort of along that line, 2 close games here in Eugene against Oregon State. Is there major adjustments to be made, or do you think just running back, chips fall where they may, do it again?
Well, I want a different result. Chips fall where they may. I mean, you're just looking for good, clean baseball, and I think, you know, for 2 games here, the crowd that has showed up has gotten their money's worth. It's been good, clean baseball on both sides, and it looks like, you know, 2 very good programs playing against each other, and that's what I would think the fans of Oregon or anywhere else want to see when they're in the rivalry game, and they're seeing that here in Oregon, which is great.
In a game like today, where it's primarily bullpen pitchers, do you have any, like, does it go through your brain that you're playing them a couple days in the future, that you try to not, like, to hold back on somebody coming out too many times and them getting a good look, or is it all, we have to win today?
No, and you can see they don't do that either. You know, their best guys are coming out of that pen. It's let's win. Mm-hmm. You know, they're playing the same way we're playing. We're both trying to win as best we can and put your best people out there with the rest that they've had. And just trying to win a game. I think both teams are clearly saying this, playing it the same way.
There was another debut today. Brenda Malone gets his debut in the field. Just what are your thoughts on how he played and how he handled first base, and, you know, your confidence level going forward in him?
Well, I mean, he's a really good player. You know, he played a good first base. It's probably really easy for him. You know, he was a high school shortstop, so usually going over to first base is usually pretty easy for a guy that was a high school shortstop. You know, he got offered a lot of money out of high school as a shortstop, and plays third base for us, second base. He can play anywhere in the field. He can play the outfield too. He's just really good, and he can hit. We're lucky to have Brendan in our program. He's a great kid.
We saw Anthony Hall DH today. He didn't take part in infield, outfield. Yeah. Just an update on him and how's he looking?
Well, I mean, he hit some balls hard. He had some good at-bats. He's a little hobbled, as you could see, when he was, jogging first and stuff like that, running down the line. Not as quick as he would be at 100%, but takes a lot of grit to, after you roll your ankle, takes a lot of grit to want to play and get back in that lineup and try to help your team win and beat their in-state rival. So, he wanted to do that, and the kid's been swinging a really good bat for us. Lately he's probably been our hottest hitter, and for him to not use an injury as an excuse to take a day off, but good for him. He wants to play. He wants to get after it, and unfortunately he's wearing the uniform we're wearing tonight, and we lost.
Do you anticipate him moving back to the outfield for this upcoming series?
Time will tell. We've still got 2 days of practice to figure out, who's healthy and who's not, and our best lineup we can put out there. Yeah.
Mark Wasikowski meeting with the media postgame. Getting ready now for the series in Corvallis. That'll count toward those Pac-12 standings Friday, Saturday, and Sunday coming up. When we come back, Rob Moseley, the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com, is here. He was in Portland this weekend, and he's got some fun stories to tell after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Summer starts here at your local Toyota dealer. Come in for huge savings on great Toyotas, like the adventurous RAV4, the sleek Venza, and the Ruby Highlander. For more information, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Summer starts here at your local Toyota dealer. Come in for huge savings on great Toyotas, like the adventurous RAV4, the sleek Venza, and the Ruby Highlander. For more information, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Okay, man, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. Cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Show the world that you're tougher than tough.
Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Rob Moseley's here. He's the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com, and I am regretfully telling you that we cannot speak off the air after this interaction because it's Giants and Dodgers this week.
It is.
Yeah. I didn't watch a second of the game last night doing Oregon baseball, so I don't know what happened. Don't tell me.
I didn't either.
But you did. Rob Moseley is the biggest, I have to tell everybody, he is the biggest multitasker I've ever seen in a press box.
Yeah, but the Penguins went to triple overtime last night.
Oh,
so that was dominating.
Who won that?
The Penguins. The good guys won.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why you're here today.
Evgeny Malkin with a tip in on a shot from the point about 6 minutes into the third overtime.
Okay.
I don't have to tell you that. For everyone else's benefit.
Sure. You know, the Sharks are not in the playoffs this year.
Right.
So
I actually, it was funny. I left some friends and I do a generally weekly trivia outing.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And I left the house at the end of regulation. And I was like, I'm going to make it home from trivia, and this game is still going to be going on. But it ended like right at the end of trivia. But then I got home, and then the baseball game was just ending.
Right. Rough day.
was a great day.
Rough day. Rob Moseley's the editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. You can find him on Twitter at GoDucksMoseley, at DuckFootball. We talked a lot about spring ball last time you were on, and I'm going to talk about the other football with you today because you actually did get the chance to go up to Portland. This was cool. We talked about it kind of to foreshadow something that we thought could happen in a professional soccer setting. We got a chance to see two pro Ducks square off against each other, and Graham Abel's team was there to see it, which is pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah. There's about 45 seconds or so of Saturday's Portland-Kansas City game that will not be going into anyone's memory banks except for ours.
That's fine.
Because, about the 72nd minute or so, Marissa Everett, 2018 senior for Oregon Soccer, subbed in for Portland. Chardonnay Cran had been cramping for a couple of minutes at that point, and so we were worried she was going to be subbed out earlier, but she stayed out. Marissa came in. Chardonnay's a rookie for Kansas City. A recent graduate of the Oregon soccer program, and at the next stoppage after Marissa came in, Chardonnay finally, somewhat mercifully, got subbed out because it looked like one of her calves was just not operating, just not functioning anymore.
Not good.
But and there was like no memorable action really during that minute or whatever.
Yeah,
less
we
than a
didn't
minute.
get like Char defending.
No.
Chris Everett.
But to have an alum on each team from Oregon soccer in a professional match at the same time going head-to-head was something for the record books, I mean, it's, to be superseded, to be sure, by future events and, maybe even by those two, the next time those two teams play, hopefully, something, there's a little bit more meaningful action with them both on the field. But, just to have, this is one of those things you ask, the next time it happens, wait, have we ever had two alums in the same game, one on each side? Well, we have, and it happened, April 30th, 2022 in Portland. And that's a small bit of the program's history and something really to celebrate for this program and the trajectory it's on. Talking to them both beforehand, Marissa was like, I was kind of half in, half out on going pro. Char's all in, and just where the program is at, it's people like that Graham Abel's program is going to produce now. So she's like, I'm expecting
that's cool.
A bunch of Ducks to reach this level now in the near future. So that's really to hear a pro say that, how excited she was watching Oregon soccer last year and kind of the direction of the program under Coach Abel. From her perspective, I mean, who better to know kind of the trajectory things are on? So that was fun to hear. And then Saturday for me was just kind of a reward, just to watch them play, and it was pretty fun.
It's a great environment. I mean, you talk about some of the best environments in sports. Portland soccer, it's great.
Grant, you probably talk to Graham more than I do, but I mean, he said he thinks that might be the best facility in the United States.
Yeah.
For pro soccer.
I believe it.
So
my old buddy Jake Zivin is the voice of the
Timbers.
Right. And Jake, I think, would probably say that. And that's not like Jake being the voice of the Timbers. That's like he's been to these other venues.
Just
pretty
soccer
cool
guy. Yeah. So it was fun. It was a cold day, but it stayed dry, I think, even on the pitch. We were under an overhang, but so to see the guy, we were sitting kind of with the current team that made the trip, and obviously a lot of them feel much more of a connection with Chardonnay than Marissa, just because of the age difference. But
all of 4 years,
but
it makes a difference.
But in this age cohort, that's everything. It can be. So, but I think it was it was pretty special. It was cool. It was really fun.
That's awesome.
A small thing, I don't mean to make more of it than it is.
But it is a big deal.
But it is a little piece of the program's history.
I mean, so it's funny you say like we all kind of have those the last time this happened, right?
Yeah.
Like every sport game notes that the SID Sports Information Director put together, it's always like the last time this happened. That's one that is a really cool step for a program,
Totally.
And every program wants to take that. But I will say, in this case in particular, the growth of that professional league, that's pretty cool too. I think about it
that's
like
a great
softball,
point.
volleyball.
It's a great point. It speaks not just to the trajectory of Oregon soccer, but that league too, and the prominence. Kansas City being a new franchise, so there's more opportunities, there's more jobs. Yeah, that's a great point too. That it's not just about us.
Yeah.
That it does. it says something about women's professional soccer in this country too.
Seeing, like, when we talked to Gwen Savekis, right, and seeing some Ducks playing for Athletes Unlimited in softball, it's televised, and they just signed a new TV deal. You know, like that to me, it says something more than just Oregon. It's women's athletics as a whole.
No, that's a good point.
You know, and the WNBA is just look at what Sabrina Ionescu's been up to lately. You know, I mean,
hey, I was just glad that game happened because I went up to Portland Wednesday because there was an alum I was going to try to bump into at the signing day event who ended up not being able to make it. The whole reason I was going to be in Portland was to see Flaming Lips at Crystal Ballroom on Friday. They got the COVID.
Not good.
In Idaho the night before.
Not good.
So the podcast didn't happen. The show didn't happen. I was waiting to wake up Saturday and hear the soccer game got banged for some reason.
Yeah, that's not what you want to hear.
But
you
it
made
was
it.
played. It
You
was
did
played.
it.
So
you did it.
Yep.
So but perseverance on your end. I mean, you
Well,
stayed up there.
Yep. Well, I mean, at that
You
point,
persevered.
you're just kind of stuck, you know. The
You
hotel's
persevered.
paid for. It's
Right.
Right.
You persevered.
Yeah.
He's Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. So we were talking about before you got on that you're going to go to track on Friday. And,
Yep.
You know, it's an odd deal because senior days to me in college athletics now are odd in general because there aren't a lot of seniors. Some of the best athletes are going to move on before they get to celebrate as a senior. You get transfers. So it's certainly different than what it was maybe 10 years ago.
No doubt.
And in track and field, especially here at Oregon, it's like home finale is this weekend, but then there's going to be the Pac-12s.
Right.
There's going to be the NCAAs. It's kind of a cool deal.
No, to that point, like I was joking with some of our track staff yesterday, like Friday is my rust buster. Like Friday is my first time this season to get out and see him. So it is ironic that it's senior day because for me, Friday, like, you know, the Twilight's not the biggest meet on the schedule this year, but I need to get out there and just start wrapping my head around covering track and field and all the logistics of it.
Because Pac-12s, baby.
Who our kids are, you know, to make sure I, you know, have a sense for, you know, who they are and what they look like and what their stories are and all that, you know, because we're going to be covering a lot of track and field here in the next few months. So yeah, you know, it is ironic, that but like I said, everybody has to have a rust buster at some point on the schedule, and Friday's mine.
It's always the first broadcast of the year. You're always like,
how does this work again?
Did I forget something today?
Right.
Oh, yeah, there's not a microphone out the window.
Right.
Not that I've ever done that before, but I've been known to drop a crowd mic in the first inning.
Yeah.
And forget to do it during pregame. I mean,
the ambient noise just got so much better.
That's right. Like, you actually can hear the bat. Oh,
right,
man.
I did just some levels.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. So, yeah, track and field, it is amazing, though, just to think about, like, you know, the new posters that Ian just put together that I threw up on the wall today. I mean, you just look at what's happening in Eugene. Right. It's pretty wild. And so
it does feel like, you know, with respect to all the competitions leading up to now, like that's the track schedule.
Yeah, it's Pac-12s, Prefontaine, NCAAs, USA Track and Fields, the World Championships.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty amazing. Right. So that's all coming up. We're going to talk with Robert Johnson coming up here in just a minute. But what else on the agenda? What are you doing over the next few weeks? What should fans know?
I'm going to baseball Saturday.
All right.
Hopefully to bring a little bit of a good juju.
I am emceeing the Hall of Fame induction ceremony on Saturday. So be my eyes.
And Thursday?
And Thursday. Because I have
to help write some stuff.
We've got the 2020 Hall of Fame class being inducted in a ceremony on Thursday.
Right.
The 2021 class is being inducted in a ceremony on Saturday. Just the way it worked out.
Yeah, I'm actually out all next week, so don't call me.
I will not.
Wednesday.
I will not.
I'll be on a boat somewhere in the Pacific Ocean.
I like that.
Yeah.
Are you fishing? What are you doing?
No, a little mini cruise.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Do you get boat sick? Like, do you get seasick?
The one time I went like deep sea fishing off Cabo, I was like 18. I was a wreck.
Uh-oh.
But this is like a ginormous cruise ship. Like some people say like you can't even tell you're on a ship. Other people are like, yeah, you feel it at first and then you forget about it real fast.
Wristbands with the little bumps on them?
We'll find out.
Yeah. Those help. Can confirm. He's Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. Have a great trip, buddy.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
I guess I won't see you. I'll be in Corvallis on Friday. You're going to be up there Saturday, so bring home a win.
Yeah, I'll do my part. I'll do as much as humanly possible from my spot on the bench to help the boys.
Yeah. If I know that press box, you're going to be sitting right next to Jordan Brenner. There's not a lot of space
bring
in
some
the press
headphones.
box. Bring some headphones.
All right.
Absolutely.
I can do that.
And you know who else is also in that same room as you? Mike Parker.
Oh.
Our buddy from Oregon State. We are in the same room doing a broadcast, and people like Rob are stuck listening to us.
A little raucous.
Yeah, it's an interesting environment, that's for sure.
Haven't they won like 3 national championships?
I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. All right. Rob Moseley's the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com. We'll talk with him in 2 weeks, and we'll be back after this.
All right.
Also, go Penguins.
Hey, go Penguins.
Yeah, you know, I'm here for you. Robert Johnson, we're going to talk with him coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece, and it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon Track and Field head coach Robert Johnson. We had the opportunity to catch up with him a little bit earlier today. We've got the new posters. They're here with us, and the Ducks have their season home finale this week. But then they've got Pac-12s, they got NCAAs, they got World Championships. And, well, we talked with Robert Johnson for about 20 minutes, and that's almost the rest of our show. Let's hear a little bit from part 1 of our conversation with the Oregon Track and Field head coach. Hey, it's always fun to have @Run4Ducks on Twitter here with us. We were just discussing during the break before we got going that, you know, it used to be 140 characters. Now it's 280 characters. So that means that you've got a lot more room to fit all of the victories for the Ducks in one tweet. Is that correct, Coach? Robert Johnson here with us. Coach!
Yeah, hey, what's going on, man?
How are things, man? How have you been?
Not bad at all. It's a beautiful day in the Willamette Valley, as Jimmy Radcliffe always says.
That's right. But does Coach Radcliffe ever say it's a bad day? I mean, the guy's in short sleeves no matter what.
Yeah, I've seen him say some bad days. That's for sure.
Hey, catch fans up on where you're at right now. I feel like every Monday over the last few weeks, it's just, here's all the victories for track and field that I list on the show. What's been your perspective so far this year?
We're work in progress. Right now, we're trying to get to the championship season as healthy as possible. That's always a big to-do in the world that we live in, as well as everybody else, I'm assuming, that's been in sport or athletics knows that when you're at it for a while, those things, little things creep up. And so we're fairly healthy now and looking to get into next week off and rowing. But before I jump ahead, I'd be remiss if I didn't say what's on deck this Friday with the Oregon Twilight. And we have lots and lots of recognitions there. We got some kids half-lappers, or we got some officials that's been there 20, 30, 40, 50 years of officiating. We have the McChesney Mile, which is a tradition for us. So lots of good things. And I even hear the Duck is going to come run with the kids. So that's always a plus there. And so our senior recognition, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention those. Our seniors make it and break us from a cultural standpoint. So lots that's going on over there at Hayward from a recognition standpoint.
Before we got going, I know that you have a stopwatch with you. Can you give me an idea of what you would clock? 2 stopwatches with him today. Can we get an idea of what you would clock the Duck in 100-meter? I mean, what's his time going to be?
Well, his feet's a little big. He doesn't look like he has good squat power. His, your hips and glutes and butts is where you carry all your engine. That's the engine of track and field. So he may be pretty good because he's got a little extra. He's got a tail.
That's true. That's true. So the Duck's going to be out. Also, it is Hall of Fame induction week, by the way, for the 2020 and the 2021 classes. We hope to have those in 2020 and 2021, but instead we're doing 3 Hall of Fame inductions in 1 year, and there's a ton of track and field recognition. I know they're going to be there for you guys this weekend, too.
Yes,
That's pretty cool.
Matter of fact, I should be slapped on the wrist. That Hall of Fame induction is going to be part of the program as well this weekend, the Oregon Twilight. So, like I said, lots of recognitions going on there.
And you got the Pac-12s coming up, too. I do want to talk with you a little bit about that, Coach, because, 1, it's special that it gets to be at historic Hayward Field, but 2, that's what you guys are looking for is Pac-12 Championships.
Yeah, that's kind of the part of the year where we shine. That's something that's been historic for us in nature to go there and compete and do well. You Tracktown USA, and so we try to live up to those mantras. We have a great support staff, Aaron Wasson, who's kind of the championship director there for the Pac-12 Championships, and he's done a phenomenal job galvanizing all the entities and the parties that are a part of that make it special, and we should have a first-class meet.
The Summer of Hayward is something that we've been talking about. This feels to me, Coach, like the true celebration of the new Hayward Field in its new state. You're smiling as I say that. I mean, just how special has it been going through this process? I know it was a long process for you guys trying to find a place to practice and just get everything ready.
We're definitely in the love part of it.
Yeah.
That love-hate. We started with the hate, and we hated and we hated and we hated in 2 years and 2.5 years, and now we're in the love part of it, and it's been absolutely fantastic. To look at the kids and see their faces and see the amenities and the things that they get. I like to liken it to a 5-star hotel there that they get every day. And so we impress upon them the importance of that and to take care of your own and to make sure that you maintain it, because we want this place to look like this 100 years from now.
The fan experience is next level. We've known that at Hayward, old and new. Can you just take fans inside what the facility has done for your athletes, though, especially when they had a few years where they were kind of nomads a little bit, if you will?
Yeah, we were here in the fishbowl, they used to call it, downstairs. Then we were in the Mo. We had some generous donors to come and put a track around the outside, so we got a little bit of a U. So that helped to mitigate some of our issues. But then Hamlin Middle School, you can't thank them enough, because that's where it started. So we were there practicing with the middle school kids for a lot of times. And so just being at Hayward, being able to get the workouts done in one spot, being able to have everything in one spot, one-stop shopping there at Hayward Field. If you can't get it there, it can't be done. And so it's just helped us from a training perspective that was kind of forgotten.
Yeah. Robert Johnson joining us, Oregon Track and Field head coach. I wanted to ask you about a few individuals, and maybe let's begin with the one that seems to show up in a lot of headlines. That'd be Makai Williams. How good has he been? What's the season ahead looking like for Makai?
Yeah, well, according to our detractors and our recruiters that recruit against us, you can't run fast in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know if it's still the case, but at one point in time, that guy was the fastest in the world.
Yeah.
And maybe it's early or whatever you want to say about it, but he had that title, and he can say that he owned that. He's been great for us. He's a young guy. He's a sophomore. And so his development and growth and what they're doing there has been phenomenal, and I can't wait to see what he does throughout the rest of this year.
You can run fast in the Pacific Northwest, is what you're telling me.
I've been doing it for years.
Robert Johnson with us. I thought that it was cool to see you guys always have such an international flavor to your roster, but Annetta Konachek has done some pretty amazing things, and coming off an Olympic appearance and now doing it in a Duck uniform.
Konachek. Yes. She's phenomenal. Transfer here for us, but her in steeplechase, one of the Olympians from last year. Like if you go over there and walk on the Flock of Fame down below the tower, you'll see our most recent 2020 or 2021 Olympians there immortalized for the rest of time. There they have a brick as you walk up the Flock of Fame there. So she's one of them, and just seeing her growth, seeing her burdens. seeing her struggles, seeing her being able to overcome has definitely been joyous for us as a staff, and then just to watch her flourish in what she's doing. And so the future is very bright for her in Poland.
Emmanuel Umajay has continued to make a lot of headlines, too.
Yeah. EJ, we call him, Imajay. He's another guy that has his brick over there in the Flock of Fame for Italy.
Yeah.
And so he'll ever be immortalized in Oregon's history. Every time you walk up and down there, you're like, who is this Emmanuel Imajay guy? And so he's great as well. He continues to grow. He's young, learning the do's and the don'ts, and growing as a person, where to be, how to be, when to be, but a phenomenal talent. When you get him there and get him locked in, he does phenomenal, does everything you ask. And so big future for that guy as well.
Feels like you have a relatively young roster. How has that gone over the course of this year? I mean, you and I have talked before about how it's all about kind of filling in different spots.
You see all this right here?
That gray right there?
That'll tell you exactly what a young roster will.
I thought that came from the process of leading in toward New Hayward. I mean, it's all of it, right?
Well, yes and no. Lots of moving parts. The Hayward stuff can be a distraction. The World Championships can be a bit of distraction, but those are welcome distractions. We wouldn't be where we are without the generous people that make these things come to happen, without the community making those things happen, without the state, without the university, without administration. Lots of people make what happens over there at Hayward Field go. And so I'd be remiss if I didn't give them a shout out and give them their kudos. But it's a well-oiled machine over there. Lots of people that are way smarter than me that make things happen over there and make them seamless. That's why it's such a great venue to put on a track meet, a great venue to watch a track meet. We're going to sort of kind of debut this experience board over there. It's been off for a while because they were Daktronics doing their thing, making sure everything talks to everything and it works. And so we're going to try to use that for some of these recognition ceremonies, with the grand debut being at the Pac-12, which we can't wait. Kids are phenomenal about that. Even the coaches, my coaches have been talking about we need to start using that in training because we don't want to get the kids distracted for them looking at the video board instead of paying attention to what's going on around them. And so one of those phenomenal and iconic things that Hayward Field is going to be known for.
I feel like it's kind of we've talked about it on the show a little bit, Coach. I feel like it's kind of the crowning jewel to the Hayward crown. Is that a fair assessment of it?
Yeah, it definitely puts the cherry on top.
Yeah.
Hayward was nice already. Hayward now is even nicer already. Lots less complaints. I can remember when we first got here, fans were complaining about bathrooms, complaining about concessions, complaining about splinters in their butts when they slide down the benches. And so I understand both sides of the argument because there was a big to-do about dismantling. Notice I didn't say tear down. Dismantling Hayward Field. But the kids make that play special, and the things they got was kind of how I err on their side of the fence here, even though those that have a lot of history there, those that remember it, those that started their careers there, those that ran there, I understand those nostalgic things as well. And believe it or not, we put a lot of that Hayward Field DNA into the new Hayward Field. So there's little treasures that you get to find around the stadium there that kind of evoke history of the past.
That's pretty cool, honestly. Just hearing him talk about how he's even finding things like that at this new facility, that's awesome. More of our conversation with Robert Johnson, part 2 with the Oregon track and field head coach, right after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. They can help save lives by not having play dates. That's right. By replacing get-togethers with virtual play dates and video chats, they can help slow the evil spread of germs. And if your superheroes do go outside, make sure they continue their superhero wing by staying 6 feet away from others to protect everyone in America land. Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy.
What's your name?
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you inside the Country Financial Studio. Earlier today, we caught up with Oregon track and field head coach Robert Johnson. The Ducks are getting ready for their regular season finale, and then the summer of Hayward is upon us. Details, GoDucks.com. Get your tickets. The Ducks have tickets on sale for, well, pretty much anything that you could be looking for Hayward Field right now. Robert Johnson, part 2 of our chat with the Oregon track and field head man. Walked around Hayward a bit, but I feel like you could walk around and never see everything. It's that kind of a detailed place.
Yeah, I'm still there, and I go there into the Hayward Hall, you know, that has a lot of museum-esque type things there of Oregon history. And so I go in there and I give tours in there and I talk to people in there, and I just find myself saying something new or something different each and every time because it's always something. And I've been here since it was in cardboards and there was no paint on the walls, right, and it was hardwood floors instead of marble now. And so you can easily get lost in the details there because there's just so much.
The throws group for you has been really good this year.
On fire.
I feel like. Yeah, so tell fans a little bit about that, because that's been a real asset for you guys in scoring this year.
Yeah, Jada Ross and Mind Clerk there in the shot and disc have been doing fine. Ty Hampton and Eric Line and Dalton Rasmussen, a senior. There in the javelin, Josephine and Kahona there on the women's side, and Riley Trecker. You know, those girls and guys have been fantastic. You know, Coach Whitsett deserves a lot of credit. You know, he's been clamoring for a group like this, and now he's definitely starting to produce and get them to a point to where they become noticed, and we can sit here and talk about them in interviews. And I couldn't be more happy for him and getting his flowers. We always talk about flowers, giving your flowers while you're alive, and you can smell those flowers. And so I'm so happy for him so he can get an opportunity to smell his flowers.
I did want to ask you about another group, and I was actually talking with Zach about this. I thought it was interesting that you're 4x400, all freshmen, and got qualified for the indoors and then tripped in the finals. I mean, just I know you probably don't want me to bring that up, but I feel like maybe the future, though, sure is bright, even heading into this outdoor stuff.
Hey, welcome to Tracktown USA. Most people are oblivious to track, and so you go in the grocery store and they're like, hey, what happened? Why'd you fall? I was like, oh, okay, let's talk about this. Let's rip the Band-Aid off of this thing right now. Yeah.
Did I rip the Band-Aid off?
No, well, it's kind of over and done with. That was in March, so
okay.
I haven't watched that film, so I'll try not to watch that film.
Okay.
But it would have been a huge honor for those kids. You know, great for their development to be able to go there as freshmen, being on campus less than 6 months, and have All-American honors attached to their name for the rest of their lives. And so to have them robbed that because they were tripped from someone behind them is sad, and my heart breaks and yearns for them and what they are going through. And they were fairly distraught. And so the bright side of that is they are all freshmen, and we'll get to see this for another 4 years or so, depending on if they stick around with all the COVID years that the NCAA is giving out.
Robert Johnson joining us. So, Coach, what do we miss? I mean, I feel like in an interview like this, I can always just ask you so many things, but What's on your mind? What's on your coaching staff's mind heading into home finale and then Pac-12s and then NCAAs right around the corner?
Heading to this recruiting meeting that I'm supposed to be at 12. Go on. But no, just business as usual. Lots going on. This has been a trying year, I would say, at best. Coming out of COVID and coming with all the moving parts, coming out with the innuendos and all those things. So very, very trying year from that standpoint, as well as the freshmen that we talk about and teaching a new group and getting them prepared and getting them up to speed for what Pac-12 Championship competition is like. We go to all of these meets across the country and across the different states, and everything presents a different challenge. And some people that haven't ever flown before, forgetting IDs, not being where you're supposed to be. And so those are teachable moments. Gray hair moments, nonetheless, because you would think that we would be past that, especially this late in the year. And so it's always a growing moment. Like I tell the kids, I'm an old dog, and you can never ever teach an old dog. You can always teach an old dog new tricks, or they say that you can't teach them, but I find that hard to believe because I learn something every day. I was talking to the kids just yesterday, saying that not only do you guys learn from me, but I also learn from you, and some of the lingo and some of the words and some of the things and some of the ideals that we get into and some of the conversations. And because we don't believe in false pretenses and politically correctness, we try to have real conversation. And so one of the things that was a topic of conversation for us in our program there, or the group that I coach closely, was the pronouns. The he's, the hers, the he's, the these, the those. And I was like, I don't understand it, and I don't get it. Why are you it and that? But, it's not for me to understand or to get. It's more so for me to hear you, try to understand where you're coming from, and try to form some kind of support for you and your stance on that. And these are topics that are taboo in everyday conversation. For it's been general rule of thumb, you don't talk about politics, you don't talk about religion, you don't talk about pay. And those things are taboo. But here we are in a setting where in that group there's kids that never been around, I shouldn't say never been around, have very few black experiences, have very few LGBTQ experiences. Just conversations that we're able to have, and I think that not only helps them as people, helps them to grow, because college is supposed to be this place to where it's like a bowling alley. You put up these bumper rails and you go down through there and you bump back and forth between good and bad, right and wrong throughout, but it's a safe space, and we try to create those things there. And to be able to have those conversations with those groups, I think, will be long-lasting and be memories that those kids will take out into the real world, because the real world is a cruel and unforgiving place. And when they're out there, hopefully they can take some of the things that they learn from the old geezer and apply that and be better off for it.
And hopefully then at the end of the bowling alley, you're hitting all the pins, right? I mean, that's the goal, right?
There's some gutter balls in there for sure.
Trying to get a strike, though, that's how it works. So, well, Coach, I just really appreciate you taking the time, and thanks again. We'll do this again before one of many meets at Hayward Field. But great to catch up with you. Hope things are going well, and I hope that the golf game goes great this summer.
Yeah, it's a ways away. There's this big looming crown jewel that you talk about called the World Championships that is going to eat into a lot of that. So
in a good way.
In a great way.
Yeah.
The United States has never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
I keep reminding people, and I wonder if how Eugene is going to react to this. And, of course, if I'm betting that they will enjoy and really get a real thrill and a kick out of this. But imagine Autzen Stadium for 10 days straight.
Yeah.
That's what Eugene is going to be like. I'm kind of fairly close to this event, and there's people staying as far away as Albany, and Salem, and Portland, and Bend. They're all over the surrounding areas there. And, of course, that's just the competition. Those are just the 10 days that they're shooting the gun there inside the stadium. What about the month or the 6 weeks out where these federations and these countries come here to get acclimated to the time zone?
Right.
Nobody thinks about those and what it's going to do for Lane County and the community. Oh, my gosh. And they're definitely taking advantage of that as well. You know, the prices of some of these hotels be $500 and $600 a night. I'm like, man, we want these events to come back, but golly, it makes it hard. Don't get me wrong. All for everybody getting their money and being as entrepreneurial as possible, but when you're charging $500 for a hotel that is normally $89, I wonder about that.
So you're telling me I should rent out my guest room?
You should definitely do that. I get calls on a daily basis about where should I go. There's even rumors and things floating around there that somebody wanted to rent a house for $40K for 14 days.
Wow, that's a lot. I got a house.
Get in the market.
I got a house.
I'm telling you, they're going fast.
See, you learn something new every time Robert Johnson comes on. Coach, hey, thank you.
Hey, my man.
Appreciate the time, and let's do this again, all right?
Hey, and as always, go Ducks, baby.
Robert Johnson, the Oregon track and field head coach. I learned something new every time I talk to him. Hayward Field hosting the new experience board this weekend, along with celebrating some seniors. Going to be pretty cool. When we come back, some news on men's golf and women's tennis. They're heading to the NCAAs on Friday. Going to hear from one of their young freshmen, Karin Young, next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece, and it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home. Wow. Where were you, Jill? We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Owen Everett was named the Men's Golf All-Pac-12 second team to the Men's Golf All-Pac-12 second team, while 3 other Ducks earned honorable mention laurels on the conference's end-of-season awards announced today. Yuki Moriyama and Nate Stember were named All-Pac-12 honorable mention, while Grayson Leach was an all-freshman honorable mention selection for the Oregon men's golf team. Congratulations to those student athletes. Coming up on Friday, Oregon women's tennis in the NCAA tournament out in Austin, Texas, an 11 a.m. start time for the Ducks against Michigan. And one of their young freshmen who has only lost twice over the course of this season, Karin Young, talked with the media after finding out their selection fate.
I think you guys were probably cautiously optimistic you were going to see your name called, but still, what was it like to see Oregon pop up?
This is my first time ever watching it, so I was just so excited that we made the tournament. I didn't really care that much where we went. I'm just excited to keep playing, that we're still in it, and excited to be with the team even longer.
It's a young team. Can your youth help you at this level? And obviously the danger is going to be just kind of being happy to be there and not having had the experience of being there. Yeah. How can how much of a factor is your youth going to be in that regard?
I think it's just so, at least for me being a freshman, it's just all so new and exciting. And I think, I don't know how much youth plays into it, but I just think all of us are so close, and it just helps being on a team so much.
This is obviously a goal, one of the goals you guys had at the beginning of the season. I mean, what do you think, obviously the goal is to go there and win, but what do you think this could do for the program, pushing it forward, exposure, just kind of helping the program for the future?
Yeah, definitely making NCAAs has always been a big goal of us, and I think we need to keep letting our success motivate us. I know there's a lot more in us too, so yeah, that's what I would say.
Karan, you had a lot of success in junior tournaments with the support system that you built back home. How is the support system that you found out here in your freshman year going to help you in this much bigger tournament?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, the coaches they're amazing people. They support us so much both off the court and on the court. So I know that, whenever we need something, they're there. And same with my teammates. It's amazing having them cheering you on the sidelines. So, yeah.
Coach was talking about how just road tested you guys feel you are after this season. Just how comfortable do you think you guys will feel, getting outside of Eugene and playing away from home?
I think we're excited to go somewhere warm, definitely. All of us wanted to, I think. And it also will help. We'll have 2 days of practice there. And we've been traveling so much this year that it's not such a big deal, especially since we're getting there so early.
Your brother just had a breakout year at Michigan. Have you sent him a text yet saying, hey, we're taking on your Wolverines?
Yes, right after we found out, he actually texted me, what are the odds? You guys are playing my school. So it'll be exciting to play them. He'll be following along.
Is he going to have a sense for their team? Is he going to be able to help you out? Or?
I already asked him, do you know the number 4 singles player? And he does, so hopefully he'll give me some hints. That would be nice.
Karan Young, she's one of the outstanding freshmen that's been competing for Courtney Nagel and this Oregon women's tennis team. Ducks in action on Friday in the NCAA tournament. Best of luck. They already traveled out there. They're in Austin getting ready to roll. Coming up tomorrow, Derek Radley, Oregon women's golf head coach, previewing the NCAA championships, and Jason Dillard, Oregon beach volleyball head coach. After their historic season, their record-setting season, that's tomorrow's show. Best of luck to Oregon lacrosse, 4:30. Ducks versus Buffs in the Pac-12 tournament. See you tomorrow.
If a natural disaster comes knocking, how prepared is your family? You can't just close the door on earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes and hope they go away. That's why it's important to make a plan now. Ready.gov/plan has the tools and tips you need to prepare your family for an emergency. So if disaster shows up at your doorstep, you'll be ready. Visit ready.gov/plan and make a plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, son, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating